Santiago Cabrera, Aramis. Yes. Luke Pasqualino, D'Artagnan. Hi. Howard Charles. Hi. It's getting worse, isn't it? Porthos and Tom Buck, Athos. Good morning, all.
Good morning.
You're not 4 Musketeers, though, are you? Well, are you allowed to give it away?
Not first.
Right,
not first. No.
It's because you start as 3.
Yeah. You start as 3.
And then, lo and behold, turns up.
My character goes in search of Athos for various reasons. You have to find out on Sunday.
Yeah.
But so he goes in search for Athos for reasons that we discover in like the first 10 minutes of the first episode. Okay. And then they meets the 3 Musketeers. Meets the 3 Musketeers.
He earns the right to wear the shoulder guard. Thanks, man. Musketeer.
And did you all have the hair? Well, your hair isn't so long now, and it's not in the series. Did you all have the long hair and the beards before you got the jobs?
No, I didn't. I actually had to wear hair extensions.
No.
You did, yeah. It's all my own now, but I had to wear hair extensions.
That's not in the Musketeer code, surely, wearing hair extensions.
Weirdly, it is. There's a very old book, and we found
one is allowed to
historical hair extensions.
Fair enough, then.
I'm very aware
retract that.
Yeah.
Lots of people will, of a certain generation, will have watched a lot of Musketeers beforehand. So you're kind of bringing it to a new generation, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And which were your favourites? Do you have any favourites or not?
Our one.
Apart from your one, Howard, which one was your favourite?
I didn't watch any. No. I just didn't have that growing up. Yeah.
Oliver Reed. Sure.
Yeah, the Richard.
I've seen
Richard Chamberlain, Ollie Reed. Yeah, he was Aramis.
Yeah.
That was a great one.
As we just saw from John, you did a lot of training. So just explain. You had sort of early morning calls, did you?
Yeah, we had what was alarmingly called a boot camp at the middle of just before we started, which made me envision press-ups at dawn in a puddle being shouted at by a large man.
That's what it was.
It sort of was that. There was a lot of horse riding and sword fighting thrown in as well. It wasn't just running around with bricks attached to you.
So who is the? We're going to see a bit of the fighting here. So who is the best swordsman of the 4 of you?
In stories.
No, actually, in real life, as you can do.
We all speak
the
the same
role.
language.
I think we can safely say we're on the same level.
Really?
Yeah, much.
Had any of you done any of that kind of performing before?
Never.
I mean,
we all
find our own styles on stage.
On stage, which is very different, but still.
And what about horse riding as well? Because there's quite a lot of horse riding involved. Did you all have to learn to ride as well?
We did, that was part of the boot camp. I mean, I think most of us have done a little bit.
I've done a little bit.
Team's definitely the leader from the off.
Yeah.
I ended up with the wildest horse because of it. Because we pretty much chose our horses at the beginning. So mine, Fidget, that I called it by the way, wouldn't stand still. Beautiful Spanish stallion, but he was very difficult to keep. He didn't keep still.
I mean, that that's quite a difficult thing to do, isn't it? Ride a horse like that.
Luke's very good at holding on to the horse's neck. I'll let Howard explain this story.
Go on, Howard. What happened?
Okay, in a nutshell, I didn't actually see it, but I heard the sound of someone basically being thrown off of a horse into the ice and nearly dying, and then getting up and shouting the horse's name while holding his shoulder, and that was Luca Pasqualino.
What had happened?
His horse decided he didn't want him on his back anymore, so he removed him.
Yeah, well, that's not entirely true.
It is,
because we had a bond. I don't want to believe that, but we were canting through quite an icy field.
I love how you're correcting because you don't like the version I don't. That's heroic.
It's not. So we were canting through a very icy field, and my horse slipped on some ice. His 2 right legs kind of slipped out, and I kind of just come flying.
Which sounds kind of dramatic and dangerous.
It was a little bit, yeah.
Were you able to incorporate it in the final edit somehow?
Oh no, this was in training.
We saw it coming. Luke's horse had been moaning about him a lot. And he'd been there smoking a fag. Not sure about that, Luke.
Yeah. I tell you what struck me watching it is that in those days people had a fight at the drop of a hat. Someone would walk into a bar and a bar or a hostelry of some kind, and someone would look at them funny, and then they'd say, "Tomorrow morning."
That actually happened to Luke.
8 a.m.
in episode 1.
Yes.
A guy calls him out, and
just like that.
Yeah. And the fight sort of to be very quick.
It was actually illegal, though. It was illegal in those days. Dueling illegally.
But it happened all the time, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Do you have a look at you fighting? I think it's you. Let's put it.
Do you deny you shot Alexander D'Artagnan 2 days ago in cold blood?
I usually remember the men I killed. That name means nothing to me.
And you're a liar as
Remarkable, he's keeping up with us.
Rubbish. He just doesn't want to hurt the lunatic.
That's enough!
Well, what's clear about this series is it's never enough. There's never enough fighting, is there? And will you give people a shorthand who are coming to this? You are sort of the leader of the pack, aren't you?
Yes, he's the leader. He's also very troubled by his past. It weighs very heavily on him, so he sometimes seems a little remote, but I think really he's probably more dependent on the others. You know, I think all of his levity comes from that.
Okay. And how would you pay Porthos
Yes.
to kind of the toughie? Would that be fair enough?
You could say that. The human hurricane, you know, on the inside it's peaceful and on the outside it's a tempest of discomfort. Yeah.
And D'Artagnan, of course, the kind of outsider who's invited in.
A Gascon farm boy, as he's described in the script, and yeah, he kind of ends up heading to. You meet him when he's first heading to Paris with his father, and then gets drawn into a few complications. But he's
Santiago?
driven by this.
Aramis, he's charming but deadly, and also a great lover of women and of a good
Yes,
fight.
you see, that's
He
the
gets
thing.
himself in trouble, doesn't he?
Yeah.
From my childhood, as I remember them, there was the kind of the fighty one, which was you, the one who was always chasing women and jumping out of bedrooms being caught in bad places. That's you.
Yeah.
There was sort of leader of the pack, and then there was D'Artagnan, who was sort of.
And then there was D'Artagnan.
That's how I sort of had him in my head.
Yeah, and it hasn't changed.
It hasn't really changed much at all. And tell me, when we saw you filming the hats, is that when you put the hats on? Is that the moment at which you finally feel, you know, when you started doing the filming? I now am 100% Musketeer, because that is the symbol of the Musketeers, isn't it?
I think for me it was a sword actually.
Was it?
Yeah.
Is it very hard to sit down wearing a sword?
No.
It can be tricky if there's a table next to you or something. If you came in here, you kind of had to.
That's probably because we spent so much time beforehand.
But then we'd have it down by the end of it. You just literally wouldn't even think about it. Just
Life skill.
You gradually realise you have to kind of, you know, plan for a little more space. Like your scabbard ends up. My scabbard ended up in somebody's chocolate mousse at lunchtime. I mean, you just have to be very careful.
Did they have chocolate mousse in those days in France in the 17th century? They probably did, actually.
If they had it anywhere, it would have been France.
Yes. Yeah.
Made perfect sense.
And do you say the catchphrase that everybody will remember? I'm not going to say it.
We do.
Do
We won't
you?
tell you when it happens, but we do. Yeah.
At some stage.
At some
Can you say it
stage.
for us?
No.
Can we? What? Can we say it for you?
No.
No.
You're not going to say it now?
I'm not allowed to. Howard forbid me.
Do you know what? Luke nearly said it.
I did.
Howard.
Yeah.
So nearly said
But
it.
we earned the right to say it, and we said it.
We can do it one at a time.
Oh, Howard, what are you doing?
Is it some code? You're breaking some
Yeah, it's a particular
You're not in the
thing.
outfits.
Well, you say that, but you know.
We're all wearing the
It's
boots,
there,
which
isn't it?
counts.
It was
Lovely to
to
see you all here today.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck with it. Thank you very much indeed. The Musketeers starts on Sunday night on BBC One at 9 o'clock.